Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lacey, and this is Literary Looks. I'm going to be reading this week The Fallen Architect by Charles Belfour as one of my books. And this is a mystery book, so it's quite different from reading Fourth Wing. And then I'm going to be reading this week as well, 50 pages of each, The Queen of Paris, a novel of Coco Chanel by Pamela Burnings-Ewan. And I got these from my local library, and I firmly believe in supporting your local library for a lot of reasons, but mostly also because, you're supporting a community, and also there's not a lot of things in this life that are free, so it's nice to be able to peruse and look at different books that maybe you wouldn't have thought of reading had you not gone to the library. Now, the first 50 pages I'm gonna read is gonna be from this book first. I haven't read a mystery in a very long time, but I have read a historical novel a while back. It was called The Book of Lost Names by Kristen Harmel, I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember her last name. I think it was Harmel. But it was really good, by the way. I think I gave it a 4 or 5 star, I believe, on my Goodreads. And I'm going to read what this book is about, okay? So, let's see. Let's get into it. When the Britannica Theater's balcony collapses, killing more than a dozen people, the fingers point at the architect. He should have known better, should have made it safer, should have done something. Douglas Layton knows the flaws wasn't in his design, but he can't fight a guilty verdict. When he is finally released from prison, he has nothing. No job, no family, nowhere to go. He needs to assume a new identity and rebuild his life. But he soon finds himself digging up the past in a way he never anticipated. If the collapse was not an accident, who caused it? And what if they find out who he used to be? Fascinating. That does sound like quite a bit of a mystery. And a thriller if you think about it, because the collapse of the building. Yeah, so I'm going to be rereading. I'm going to be reading that right now. So let's get into it. I'm out here by the beautiful lake that's close to me. Unfortunately, there is no ducks because I think they migrated or something for the fall. I don't know how that works, so I'm not going to talk anymore about something I don't know anything about. But isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. Look at all that. It's just beautiful. I love it. I love God's creation. I'm going to read some more of the uh, Fallen Architect. This is going to be nice to read out here, out in the beauty of nature and just basking in the glow of the sun. So that'll be nice. Well, let's get into it. So check in. I've read about only 26 pages of this book. I left off on chapter 6. That's where I left off. There's a lot of detail in this book. It's set in the early 1900s, before the start of the Wright brothers creating the airplane. Shortly before that, this is during the process of them getting ready to do that. Um, there's a lot of history in this book. There's a lot of history. And essentially, it goes into his past, the main character's past, Douglas. Uh, he grew up from a family of meager means, and he wants to hide that from everybody. He doesn't want people to know about it, because he knows it's not going to take him very far. He meets this girl named Lady, what is it? Lady, Edwinga? Weena? Hard name. She's an aristocrat. He ends up marrying her. They have a son named Ronald. And so from being an architect, he becomes an architect. And then marrying her, he ends up having a lot of wealth. And because of this, it causes him to have a lot of disdain for a lot of people, thinking they're beneath him if they're lower class or poor. And so after the accident with his building collapsing, which therefore kills a lot of people, unfortunately, he goes to prison for 5 years. And when he gets out, he's determined to reinvent himself. So I do like a lot of the detail in this book. Sometimes you can get lost in that and then it could become boring, but I find it very fascinating, especially since some of it is real life details about real history. So I guess you could call this not only a mystery, but a historical fiction book as well. Um, I don't plan on reading any more tonight, to be honest with you, even though I've only read 26 pages and I haven't even gotten into the other book. I'm gonna do my best to make that up in the morning. I just have a lot to do with my Spanish class and I want to watch Gilmore Girls, so I think I'm gonna just stop this for right now. I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know what I think so far. I like the book. It's very well written and I like the author's style of writing. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. So I am on page 38. I'm almost 50 pages into this book, The Fallen Architect. And I'm actually getting really bored. This is feeling like a chore reading it, unfortunately, because the fact is that there's so much detail that it's overriding the plot. There's so much minute little nuances of little details about just him and his brother and then his dad that I feel like it's just a chore to read. And I thought I was liking it, but now I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to read another page. I'm like forcing myself to go through it. So, to be honest with you, I'm going to read a little more and give it more of a chance. But then if I don't end up liking it after a certain point, I'm going to end up DNFing it. So, I don't know what else to say. I mean, when you read a book, you want to feel like you want to turn the page and be like, what's going to happen next? You don't want to feel like it's a chore. You want to be entertained, even if it's educational, even if it has history in it. You know what I mean? Like you want to be thoroughly immersed in the book. You want to eat the book up. You want to feel like I can't stop reading this, like I did when I read Fourth Wing. Maybe I'm not that much of. I don't like that many different genres. I don't know, but I mean, it would get boring just reading, fantasy all the time. I get that. You want to mix it up, but this is just feeling like a chore, like I have to read it for school or something. And by the way, I had my Spanish class today, but then like the teacher took forever to put me in on Zoom, so I was like, forget it, I'm gonna just read. So I didn't do that today. But anyway, I'm currently listening to Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Of course, I have it on pause because I don't want to get flagged. But I like to listen to music while I read. I could pretty much listen to anything. I could listen to heavy metal if I like that sort of thing while I'm reading and still be able to concentrate on the book. I don't know how I do that, but I just am able to. I could listen to Jimi Hendrix. I like Jimi Hendrix, by the way. But anyway, I just wanted to update you guys on what I'm thinking of the book so far. I might get into the other book and stop reading this for now because I'm not really liking it, like I said. And then I'll get back with you guys and let you know what I think of the other book. All right? Okay. Bye. I forgot to mention, obviously, duh, I need to read the synopsis of this book so you know what it's about. I mean, you essentially know it's about Coco Chanel, but let's just read the lining of the book. Legendary fashion designer Coco Chanel is revered for her sophisticated style, the iconic little black dress, and famed for her intoxicating perfume. Excuse me, I have to burp. There we go. Chanel number 5. Yet behind the public persona is a complicated woman of intrigue, shadowed by mysterious rumors. The Queen of Paris, the new novel from award-winning author Pamela Bindings-Ewan, vividly imagines the hidden life of Chanel during the 4 years of Nazi occupation in Paris. So it has some history here. In the midst of World War II, as discovered in recently unearthed wartime files, Coco Chanel could be cheerful, lighthearted, and generous. She also could be ruthless, manipulative, and even cruel. Against the winds of war, with the Wehrmacht marching down the cramped Champs Louise, Chanel finds herself residing alongside the Rex High Command in the Hotel Ritz. Surrounded by the enemy, Chanel wages a private war of her own to wrestle full control of her perfume company from the hands of her Jewish business partner, Pierre Withenheimer. With anti-Semitism on the rise, he has escaped to the United States with the confidential formula for Chanel number 5. Interesting. Distrustful of his intentions to set up the production on the outskirts of New York City, Chanel fights to seize ownership. The House of Chanel shall not fall. While Chanel struggles to keep her livelihood intact, Paris sinks under the iron fist of German rule. Chanel, a woman made of sparkling granite, will do anything to survive. She even agreed to collaborate. There's more of this. Give me 1 second. This continued on back of flap. Oh, okay. With the Nazis in order to protect her darkest secrets. When she's covertly recruited by German to spy on the wreck, she becomes Agent F-7124, codename Westminster. But why? And to what lengths will she go to keep her stormy past from haunting her future? This sounds interesting, but we'll see what I think. Hopefully I don't want to DNF this. I hope not. We'll see. This is more of a historical fiction book, not a mystery, so. And a biography, obviously, about Chanel. Coco Chanel. So we'll see. I wish I had money to get a Chanel purse and Chanel earrings. That would be nice, but that's not in my budget. Well, anyway, okay, I'll check in back with you guys later after reading 50 pages of this. Okay, so here's the update. I didn't film yesterday. I had a lot going on. I have life things going on and trying to figure out, what I want to do with going to school and everything. And I had like a counseling appointment on Zoom, and I didn't want to film all that, obviously. Today, I didn't do much, to be honest. I didn't read much. I wanted to read off my Kindle. However, I can't even charge it. I've been charging it all day. And I think one of the outlets isn't working in my apartment. Forgive the noise of the dishwasher, by the way, if you could hear it. But one of the outlets isn't working in my apartment or something because I had it on the charger all day. It's still at 13%. So I can't read my Kindle book that I decided I wanted to read. I DNF'd this because I decided that it just wasn't for me because I didn't like all the details like I told you. I found it boring. And this I barely got to read. So I don't know what I think of this book, to be honest. I just haven't had time. I've been doing a lot of research on things, trying to figure some things out in my life. So anyway, I will try to read some of this and then update you guys by tonight and let you know what I think, if I want to keep reading that or if I want to DNF it. I don't know. Hopefully I don't want to DNF it like the other book. And then I got a book on my Kindle that I want to read. It's very simplistic that I've read a little bit of it, not very much, but it's very simplistic with its writing. It's almost childlike. I'm not too into that either, but I might like the storyline, so I might be able to forgive that. It kind of reminds me of the writing, no offense to her, that they had in the Britney Spears biography that I tried to read, but I DNF'd because it was boring. To be honest. So yeah, that's kind of the writing that it reminds me of, to be honest. So I just wanted to update you guys. I didn't do much today, so today was kind of a boring Thursday. Couldn't film yesterday, so there you go. But hopefully tomorrow will be better. I plan on going to the Spectrum with Yesenia and having a good time, watching a movie, maybe looking at Barnes and seeing what's going on there. But other than that, that's it for now. I'll update you guys on the Queen of Paris later on tonight, maybe an hour or two, and then let you know what I think of it so far. Okay, bye. Hi, I'm back. So far I've read 2 chapters because my mom came over and I had to eat dinner and do all that good stuff. It is currently 9:40 p.m. and I don't plan on reading any more chapters at this point because I do value my sleep, so I don't want to spend hours reading 50 chapters and then be tired the next day because I could always read it in the morning. So far, I really like this book. I find it very entertaining. I even looked up if the story is real, like if this is really based on her life at all, because I was curious if it was purely fiction or if it was loosely based on her life or based on her life. According to Google, it said that the novel is vividly imagines the hidden life of Chanel during the 4 years of the Nazi occupation in Paris. So yeah, it says that during World War II, as recently unearthed wartime files. Hi, it's Friday, 6:09 p.m. Um, I didn't get a chance to wake up in enough time. I just didn't wake up in enough time to read The Queen of Paris in the morning before we left. So I haven't read anything since last night, since reading the 2 chapters last night. So I do plan on reading some more right now. I did do some damage at Barnes and Noble. Do you want to see the goods? Let me do a little haul for you. Goods. The first book I got is Curious Tides. Look at the sprayed edges. That's what won me over, but then I read the back and I was interested in the storyline, of course. Then I got another series about dragons called His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. I didn't say who the Curious Tides is about. I'll tell you in a second. And this just looks really interesting to me. And it's book one of Temeraire. I don't know. But it's the first book in the series. Of course, it's a series because they're always series in fantasy, right? And the author for this book is called Pasquale Lacelli. Lacelli? Lacelli. Yeah. Then I got another book, and this is a special edition of this book, apparently, and it's called The Spare. I haven't heard of any of these books, or any of these authors. And then last but not least, I got Sally Thorne by Sally Thorne. Angela Frankenstein Makes Her Match. Angel Lyrica Frankenstein Makes Her Match. So that's what I got. So this is like a gothic novel. I haven't read any of those. This is obviously a fantasy. This is a romance book. And I believe this is like a mystery, like mystery fantasy book. So those are going to be cool to read when I get to them. I have a lot on my TBR, so it's adding up. But I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe found some books you might want to go and get at Barnes. Oh, and The Spare is by A.V. Rainey. 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 Ava Rainey. So there we go with that. I'm gonna get to reading The Queen of Paris and I'll check back in with you guys. So I read another few chapters of The Queen of Paris. I find it very interesting to read. It goes back and forth from her past to the present time of that time during the war. Her past is pretty sad because she came from a poor family and her father gives them up after her mother dies and they go into foster care. So she really has to learn to like fend for herself and count on herself because she can't count on anybody else. So that's really sad, but at least she learns to be stronger that way. At least that's the way I look at it. Well, this is the end of this week's vlog. I hope you all enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And until next time, I love you guys and please be kind to one another because kindness is very important. As I always say in every video, you never know what another person is going through until you walk a mile in their shoes. So until next time, talk to you later.